The day Princess Léonor of Spain took command of Spain 2026 historic moments. At exactly noon, as church bells echoed softly across Madrid and the Spanish flag lifted higher against a clear blue sky, history shifted almost imperceptibly. There was no thunder, no sudden upheaval, no dramatic proclamation shouted from a balcony. Yet every person watching knew they were witnessing something extraordinary. Princess Léonor of Spain, calm, composed, and unmistakably resolute, stepped forward into a role that generations before her had only prepared for in theory. This was not simply another royal ceremony. This was the day Spain truly saw its future take shape. For years, the world had watched Princess Léonor grow from a shy child standing beside her parents into a confident young woman shaped by discipline, duty, and an acute awareness of history. But 2026 marked a turning point. This was the year when preparation transformed into leadership, when symbolism gave way to substance, and when Spain collectively realized that its next chapter was no longer distant. It had arrived, a nation holding its breath. Spain is a country deeply rooted in tradition, yet constantly evolving. Its monarchy, one of the oldest in Europe, has survived revolutions, exile, restoration, and reinvention. By 2026, the institution stood at a delicate crossroads, balancing modern expectations with centuries of heritage. The role of Princess Léonor carried immense weight, not only because she is the heir to the throne, but because she represents a new kind of monarchy. As anticipation built in the weeks leading up to the historic moment, Spanish media outlets analyzed every detail. From her military training to her speeches, from her academic achievements to her public demeanor, everything was scrutinized. Citizens debated what her leadership might look like. Would she be traditional or transformative? Would she command authority or inspire collaboration? One thing was certain, all eyes were on her. When the day finally arrived, the atmosphere was electric yet reverent. Streets were lined with spectators, not out of obligation, but out of genuine curiosity and hope. This was not about nostalgia. It was about the future. The making of a commander. Princess Léonor's readiness did not happen overnight. Her path was carefully designed to prepare her for command in the fullest sense of the word. From an early age, she was educated not just in history and politics but in responsibility. Her schooling emphasized constitutional values, diplomacy, ethics, and national unity. Every lesson carried an unspoken message. One day, you will serve not yourself, but an entire nation. Her military education played a crucial role in shaping public perception. When Léonor entered military training, it was not seen as a ceremonial gesture. It was a deliberate statement. Spain expected its future queen to understand discipline, hierarchy, and sacrifice. Photographs of her in uniform, focused and determined, resonated deeply with the public. She was not playing a role. She was earning it. By 2026, she had completed key stages of her training across the armed forces, gaining first-hand insight into the institutions she would one day command. This experience gave her credibility that no speech alone could provide. When she stood before military leaders and government officials that historic day, she did so as someone who had walked the path, not merely inherited it. The moment that defined 2026. The ceremony itself was steeped in symbolism, yet unmistakably modern. Inside the Grand Hall, beneath centuries-old architecture, Spain's past and future converged. As Princess Léonor took her place, her posture conveyed confidence without arrogance. Her expression reflected seriousness, without severity. When she spoke, the room fell silent. Her words were measured, sincere, and deeply personal. She spoke of service, unity, and responsibility. She acknowledged Spain's challenges and its diversity, emphasizing that leadership in the modern era requires listening as much as guiding. This was not a rehearsed performance. It was a declaration of intent. For many watching, it was the first moment they truly felt the shift. This was not simply the daughter of a king fulfilling a constitutional role. This was a leader stepping forward with clarity and purpose. Command beyond ceremony. What made this day historic was not just the ceremony, but what followed. In the days and weeks after, Princess Léonor's role became visibly active. Meetings with government officials, military briefings, and diplomatic engagements were no longer symbolic introductions. They were working sessions. Her approach surprised some critics. She asked questions. She listened carefully. She demonstrated an understanding of complex issues without claiming to have all the answers. This balance earned respect across political and social lines. Spain's youth, in particular, saw something rare. A leader close to their generation, yet deeply respectful of tradition. Social media buzzed with commentary, not focused on fashion or gossip, but on substance. Clips of her speeches circulated widely, shared with captions praising her clarity and composure. For a monarchy often criticized as distant or outdated, this moment marked a profound shift. A new face of authority. Princess Léonor's leadership style stood out precisely because it avoided excess. There was no attempt to dominate the spotlight. Instead, she projected steadiness. Her authority came from preparation, not performance. Observers noted her ability to adapt her tone depending on her audience. With military leaders, she spoke with precision and respect for protocol. With young people, she was open and relatable. With international figures, she displayed diplomacy and cultural awareness. This adaptability signaled something important. Spain's future queen understood that modern authority is not imposed. It is earned. Spain and the world watching closely. International media quickly labeled the moment as one of the most significant royal developments of the decade. European monarchies, many of which face similar questions about relevance, watched closely. Princess Léonor's transition into command was seen as a potential blueprint for the future of constitutional monarchies. Foreign leaders praised Spain's emphasis on continuity and preparation. Analysts highlighted how Léonor's upbringing reflected a conscious effort to modernize the monarchy without erasing its foundations. For Spain, this global attention reinforced national pride. The country was not merely preserving tradition. It was shaping it. The weight of expectations. With admiration came expectation. Princess Léonor now carries the hopes of a nation navigating economic uncertainty, political debate, and social change. Her role is not to govern, but to unify. That responsibility is arguably more complex than ever. Yet if 2026 proved anything, it is that she understands the gravity of her position. She does not seek perfection. She seeks progress. That distinction matters. Her public appearances following the historic moment continued to reflect consistency. She avoided controversy, focused on dialogue, and emphasized shared values. Each step reinforced the message she delivered that day. Leadership is not about power. It is about service. A generation finds its symbol. Perhaps the most powerful impact of Princess Léonor taking command was emotional rather than political. For many Spaniards, especially younger generations, she became a symbol of stability in an uncertain world. In a time when trust in institutions is fragile, seeing a leader shaped by discipline, humility, and responsibility resonated deeply. She did not promise easy answers. She promised commitment. Schools discussed her journey. Universities analyzed her speeches. Families watched her appearances together. This was not celebrity fascination. It was collective engagement with history in the making. Looking back to understand the future, historians will likely mark 2026 as a defining year for Spain's monarchy. Not because a throne changed hands, but because leadership evolved visibly and convincingly. Princess Léonor's moment of command did not close a chapter. It opened one. It demonstrated that monarchy, when aligned with modern values, can still play a meaningful role. Her story is not just about inheritance. It is about preparation meeting opportunity. The legacy begins. As the year progressed, it became clear that the historic day was not an isolated event. It was the foundation of a long journey. Princess Léonor continued to grow into her role, learning, adapting, and engaging with Spain's realities. Each appearance, each speech, each decision added to a narrative that began long before 2026 and will extend far beyond it. The day Princess Léonor of Spain took command was not defined by grandeur alone. It was defined by quiet confidence, earned respect, and a shared sense of possibility. Spain did not just witness history. It embraced its future. And for those who stood watching as the flag rose that day, one truth became undeniable. The next chapter of Spain's story had already begun, guided by a young woman ready to lead with purpose, dignity, and unwavering dedication to her nation.